now for something completely different.
Wenn du jetzt gehst, nie wieder kämst, dann weiß ich ja. Ich werd nicht weinen, ich werd nicht weinen, ich werd nicht weinen. Ich vermiss nichts, was du nicht bist, du machst es leicht. Tut mir nicht leid, tut mir nicht leid, tut mir nicht leid. Geh mit, wenn du willst, mir egal, es stört mich nicht, ich glaub, ich lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr. Schreib mit, wem du magst, wenn du weißt, ich freu mich mit, ich glaub, ich lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr. Wie schön das wär, wenn du weg wärst. Nimm alles mit im Ernst, oh Baby, weißt du nicht, dass du mich am Ende mehr vermisst? Tat es dir leid? Nein. Hast du geweint? Nein. War ich dir dein? Nein. Soll ich verzeihen? Oh Baby, weißt du nicht, dass du mich am Ende mehr vermisst? Geh mit, wenn du willst, mir egal, es stört mich nicht, ich glaub, ich lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr. Schreib mit, wem du magst, wenn du weißt, ich freu mich mit, ich glaub, ich lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr, lieb dich nicht mehr. Wenn ich dir das verzeih, bei dir wieder bleib, wär ich niemals deins. Tut mir auch irgendwie nicht mehr weh, weil ich
Howdy, welcome in.
Can you hear me?
I can now, yeah.
Did you see the thing I sent you?
No.
It wasn't playing a video clip, but apparently it was for most people.
Yeah, everybody else was seeing it.
It said video clip failed to play.
Did everybody else see the intro?
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. Apparently it was me.
Yep.
Welcome in. Hello, hello. Yes, it was German, Wendy B.
Oh, I like German too.
Yep. That was 9 by Aliva.
Which means no.
Good one. 9 is kind of my mood right now. So there we go. Welcome in. We're going to welcome in the chat. We have a special guest tonight. See if you can pick out the special guest.
What? Oh. It's Joy.
Yeah. It's Joy. That reminds me of something. Anyway, welcome in. Hope everybody's had a good Thursday. Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. That's about all I can say. So let's welcome in the chat, and then we'll chat for a little bit.
Are you going?
Welcome in Kenneth H. And there's Jeanette, Sebastian the Crab. Wow. It's like
Hi,
deja
everyone.
vu.
That was in reference to your thumbnail.
Yeah. And in case you didn't know,
With 2 N's, 1 Y, but it's not where you think.
By now, isn't it where we think it is?
nope,
Oh, just checking.
still not. Stacy Rogers, welcome in. Nicole, Happy's Haunt, Vicky Gillespie, Rachel's Adventures, Christine Hickman, Jan S. Disney, Samantha Lowe. Good to see everybody. Suzanne, howdy, howdy. There's Fred O'Malley, welcome in. Let's see. There's Jan S. and Marguerite Nagy. Good to see you. Howdy. Mama Debbie Burnfeld, welcome. We got to scroll on down here. Chris S., welcome in. Good to see you. Anne Marie Dreyer, welcome in, Anne Marie. There's Kenneth, and there's Sandy Byers, and there's Ghost Host, and Rob Law, and Theo Sam Eagle, and Mar in Memphis. Howdy. And I'm still scrolling. Ms. Disney fan, hello. Good to see you. Let's see. I'm in no real fast mood tonight, so y'all just gonna have to deal. Lala's here. She may not be able to stick around, but she'll be team replay. Hey, Lala. Let's see. Joey O, welcome in. There's Wendy B, as I mentioned. Howdy. Good to see you both. Disneyland fan, good evening. Welcome in. Jennifer Caruso, hello. Nick in Virginia. There's one of our Nicks. Howdy. Julie McCowan, welcome in. Jay Grubbs, what's up? Good evening. Hello. Debbie Thuner, good to see you. Let's see. There's Wendy. There's 100 Acre Wood. Welcome in. Teresa Squara. Hello, hello. I just like clicking on names right now, apparently. And there she is, the lovely, the beautiful, the ever so talented, the Daisy Duck to my Donald Duck, the Trinity to my Neo, the Bonnie to my Clyde, the Maleficent to my Jafar, villains, and the Sally to my Jack Skellington. There we go. Halloweeny. Hello, beautiful Snickerdoodle. Yep. Robert Dixon, welcome in. Debbie Thuner, we got welcome again. Let's see, we're getting there. Theo Sam Eagle, Julie McCowan, Snickerdoodle, Mike 80 NYC. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. There's Rob Law. Everybody's saying hey. Zanlax, welcome in. There's Julie McCowan again saying hey, and Annette and Movie Mania Nick. There's 2 Nicks. Welcome. Good to see you. Let's see. Detroit Diz, hello, welcome. Ghost Host again, and am I getting there? Let's see. Jeep and Joy, what's up, neighbor? Hello, good to see you. Mr. the Crab is in the chat. Oh my goodness, I've accomplished something.
Oh.
Mr. the Crab is here. Crystal K, welcome in. KK, hello, good to see you. Disney Freak, welcome. Let's see. Did I miss a Stephen K? Welcome. Here you are, buddy. And it just jumped on me. It went all over the place. Let's see. I think we might have got everybody, though. If I missed you, I apologize.
We should get Mr. the Crab to come over and join you, and I'm sure he tent camps too, right?
He has. Not recently. But the fact that Mr. the Crab is still awake is a minor miracle. So
That's usually, yeah, that's
he will not be awake by the time this stream ends, I'm sure.
Yep. Welcome in Cambo, Spaceship Ears, John. Hello. Stephanie L. Good to see you. Oh, there's Todd and Laura. Welcome in. Howdy. Todd Maury. How was your day, Steve?
Well, I mean, it was busy, really busy. I had 2 interviews. I had to give blood. At the same time, I had to go pick up 50 lunches from Chick-fil-A for work.
Wow.
Yeah, I was all, and then they didn't put the food in the boxes. I was trying to figure out why I had so many bags and crates and everything. They gave me 4 of their catering bags. And I was like, what is going on? Got it back, and they had the boxes and the catering bags and all the food in other bags. So I had to stuff all the boxes.
Oh.
It was it felt like I didn't get anything done, but I got a lot done.
He had to give blood while doing an interview. Yeah.
Between interviews.
and driving to Chick-fil-A, apparently. Welcome. Murph, good to see you. Hope you're doing well, sir. Joey, how was your Thursday?
It was good.
Good. I like your hoodie.
Oh, thank you. Team Targaryen.
Game of Thrones. Repping.
Ooh, Starks.
Jonathan Chong, welcome in. Good to see you. Teener, how are you?
I'm here.
You are here. Welcome in.
Thanks.
I got 2 apple juices because they like me so much.
2 apple juices. Wow. Mike, what's up, buddy? Hey, howdy.
Hey, Mike.
Mike.
Jason Thibodeau, welcome. Good to see you. Jeanette, welcome to the stream. Hey, howdy. The boy
Thanks
child's
for
even
having me.
coming out to say hello.
Oh, wow.
So, how are you, boy child?
Oh, I'm good.
He's got a gallon of chocolate milk that I bought him.
Don't spill it,
It is
Evan.
not a gallon. Do not let him lie to you.
I have a gallon of milk and chocolate powder that I just bought and brought over there.
It's not a gallon, but it's the biggest container that they make of it.
Let's see it.
Promised Land.
No, never heard of it.
What can I say? I'm a simple man.
Good stuff.
Is that really rich, thick chocolate?
Yes, it tastes like a milkshake. It's so good.
Somebody else actually did tell me about that.
We're good, Marguerite. So I've got a story for y'all since you're here.
Yeah, I want to hear
Got a
your
story.
wildness.
Steve has been here. So the doors that enter into the building are right over here.
Only
And
set
then-
of doors.
Yep. And then right here is just out of my reach. I've got a refrigerator, a tiny refrigerator. And I've got my coffee syrup bottles and all sitting up on top of the little refrigerator.
It's his flavors.
Yeah, all the flavors and stuff, various sundry. I went while I was working today. I went into the house to check on the parents and use the facilities, and I came back out. And when I come in, I always stop right at the door and take my shoes off. It's just a habit. I take my shoes off right at the door. I did that. I took one step over close to coming back over here, and I saw something kind of fall on the top of the fridge.
Spider.
And I thought, what was that? And I thought there was a stink bug in here. I thought that looked bigger than a stink bug.
Rat.
And so I walked on over and I started to move something, and I looked and hand me that black. Yeah, that one. And I looked and on this bottle that I just bought of Irish cream, by the way.
You're
I
gonna want to
haven't
throw
tried
that.
it yet.
You're gonna want to throw that away now.
There was a lizard.
Oh, a lizard. They're okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's better than my guess was.
He was a long little feller.
They don't eat much.
And he peeked his head up over the top of the bottle, like he was just kind of looking up over the top of the bottle at me, keeping an eye on me. And I thought, what am I going to do here?
Is he a flat lizard?
No, he was just a regular little green lizard.
I meant, is he flat now?
No, he's not flat now. No.
I was like, where's he going with that?
So I was like, how am I going to get little buddy out of here? And I kept calling him little buddy. I was like, it's all right, little buddy. We're going to take care of you. So he got on a box that I have up there, and he was jumping. I didn't realize lizards jump as much as he was jumping from one thing to the other. And I thought, okay, he's on this box. I've got a plastic bag. I'll just put the plastic bag over it, and maybe that'll help keep him calm, and I'll take him outside and let him free. So I did that really quick. Took the box outside. No, he wasn't there. I came back in. He was still on one of the bottles, and I stood there, him looking at me looking at him, and me thinking, how am I going to do this? And so I just took the bottle. I was like, okay, he's at the top. I'm just going to grab it by the bottom. And I did. And I picked up the bottle and just carried the bottle out.
He didn't jump off?
Huh?
He didn't jump off?
He didn't jump off. Well, there's Jeanette back. Welcome back, Jeanette.
Sorry.
He didn't jump off. He rode the bottle out as I carried it out with him. And there's a lawn chair sitting here beside the building. And I just held the end of the bottle down next to the lawn chair, and he just jumped off onto the chair.
Now he's going to come back in.
I came back in, set the bottle down, went back out, and I said, okay, little buddy. I said, you just need to scurry on. I don't need you climbing back up the building and coming back in. So I kind of knocked the chair over, and he jumped down in the grass and went all through the field. So
he was like, this is so nice. And then here comes Godzilla. Fuck.
Exactly.
You know what you did? You had your Disney princess moment.
I did.
To animals.
Talk to animals. I talked. Disney Pooh Head, welcome in. All Smiles, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, it was he was my Pascal today.
There you go.
So I told Mom, I was like, if I had a container or something, I would have kept him. I would put him in it and kept him. I've always wanted a lizard, and I would have kept him and
Do you even know how to take care of a lizard?
I would have figured it out. There's Google.
See, now you
I
couldn't
will
have
hook
done
him
that.
and squeeze him and call him George.
Exactly.
Hold on, you couldn't have done that because if you did, then naturally I get to have a pet, and
No.
you know what I'm gonna get?
No.
I'm gonna go get a puppy,
Yeah, but
and we're gonna have a puppy.
no, but my pet would have been smaller and more well contained.
Yeah, but mine would have been more fun.
No,
Boy Child has a false sense of reality, it sounds like.
he does. Like his opinion matters or something. But no, I would have put him in, and I would have got him like a little stick and all, and I would have kept him and
Punch the holes in the top and stuff.
had him out here as a pet.
You could have built a terrarium.
I could have built a terrarium for him.
I built a terrarium way back in 6th grade.
I would have really.
Just what I always wanted, my own little bunny rabbit. I will name him George, and I will hug him and pet him and squeeze him.
I
Exactly.
forgot to pet him.
Yep.
Oh, that was
I
perfect.
love that. Oh gosh.
He will be my squishy.
He will, yeah. So yeah, that was my adventure with wildlife
There
today.
you go. You know what you might like then? You know the watershed companies, whatever, that bring the lizards and the snakes and the turtles to like elementary schools?
Yeah,
That'd be a cool job for you. if you'd
that'd be a
like to.
cool job if I could get a job taking
And
reptiles around the schools.
I've never seen those people be sad about their job either. You know?
No, they're never sad about their job. They're working with lizards and
And they're
snakes.
bringing them and they're showing little kids.
Exactly.
That'd be a cool job.
And
to have.
turtles?
Like post retirement.
It would
That'd
be.
be a cool job to have.
That may be the job I start tomorrow at this rate.
I say, why wait for retirement?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Screw that at this point after today. Anyway, Yeah. So I'll just need to find out where to apply for that.
I'll do some research for you.
I appreciate it. So, you have a good evening?
Yeah, it was all right.
Oh, good. Good.
Went to the doctor and then I went to work.
Nice.
It was fun.
Cool.
So,
Well, Jeanette.
yes.
Yeah,
Hello.
Jeanette's going to teach us how to camp at Disney World.
I camp at Disney World.
Yeah.
I see he has the same reaction that you do, Chris.
Yep. So,
I've never been camping before.
perfect candidate to learn how.
There you go.
Now,
Like it.
when you go inside, just remember to sub to the channel and watch and like and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head up.
okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Boy, child. So, yeah, what's funny is yesterday I was working and I thought my eyes must be dry or something, and I because I felt like I was seeing spots, and so I rubbed my eyes really good and refocused on the computer screen and realized there was a spider running across my computer screen.
Oh, so there is a spider story.
He didn't survive.
Oh, he's a flat spider.
He's a flat spider.
Okay.
Yes. But I thought if I had kept the lizard, then he would have cut down on spiders, and that would have, yeah, natural prevention. Ride the Teacups, welcome in, good to see you. Hey, howdy. So he didn't finish his mission, but yeah. So I went to Aldi this morning. I had a chiropractor appointment this morning and went to Aldi. I've heard that some of the Aldis have Bluey advent calendars.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah. Mine did not have any real Christmas merch put out yet, though. So nothing for me.
Mine's full of Christmas stuff.
They've only got like one little thing of ornaments. And that was about it that they've got out. They've still got Halloween stuff all over the place and fall stuff all over the place. It looked like maybe they were getting ready to transition, but they hadn't put anything out yet. So, yeah. There's a sale going on Shop Disney right now. That ends Sunday, up to 30% off on adult clothing, accessories, and more. And they also have a sale going on Halloween merchandise, up to 50% off. So if you need to do shopping, yeah, here you go. Stephen K says there's a blow-up Bluey family at Costco. There is, and it's not badly priced. It's like $149 for the whole family.
Oh, dude, I was at Home Depot today, and they have 3-foot Donald, Mickey, and Minnie's, and they move around, dance, and sing.
Really?
They're each $200, but they were really cool.
Oh,
Are they holiday themed?
Yeah, they're Christmas.
Christmas? Yeah.
Wendy said for me, this coming next week or week after. Mine had none yesterday. Okay. I'll keep checking. Yeah, I was actually on Costco's website last night looking at, and Sam's website too, just checking Christmas merch and decorations and whatnot. Have you seen the Bumble that Lowe's has? I have not, Stacy. Nicole saw those and said the Donald is super cute, Steve.
They're awesome. They were good.
I like looking at the decorations. It's about that time too. I did see the cake bake shop open today.
And it was packed, and people said it was awesome.
I've heard some mixed reviews. on it.
All the ones I saw were great. The only thing I heard anybody say that was not the greatest was Tanya said the icing wasn't very sweet, but she still liked it.
Tanya's got the red velvet cake, which
Yep.
looked amazing. She said the cake itself was good, but the exterior icing was
Still
like
wasn't very
whipped
sweet.
cream. So she said the icing between the layers was really good, but the outside icing tasted like whipped cream, which is kind of disappointing, I think, for red velvet cake. I feel like red velvet should always have cream cheese icing.
Ugh, I hate cream cheese. I don't eat red velvet cake, but so you guys can have it. You can have the. You can go ahead and have the cream cheese.
I
on it.
love red velvet cake.
But you wouldn't have ordered it with or without the whipped cream, so it should be the way that red velvet should be. It shouldn't be like.
Yeah, it's whipped icing is what it is. It's not very rich
Yeah.
on the outside, just because all the richness is on the inside.
It should always have cream cheese.
Yeah.
I saw somebody else had ordered a bunch of the stuff and was doing a review, and I only got to see a couple of things. One of the things they tried was the peanut butter pie, and they said that the one slice is enough for 2 or 3 people, that it's very rich, but that it's very, very good. So
One slice is enough for 2 or 3 people.
with it being so rich, they said
Oh, I got you.
yeah. So cream cheese icing is the best Disneyland food. That's a fact. Cream cheese always. I appreciate y'all all agreeing with me. Sandy Byers agrees. Jennifer Crusoe says, "Oh, putting that peanut butter pie on my list when I can share it." Yeah, they said it was great. Is Noah welcome in? Good to see you. Yeah, so a lot of people were saying that although it is pricey, that it was really good food. So there you go. For whatever that's worth. Yeah. I still think I would prefer Gideon's cake, to be honest, but
You're entitled to it.
that's just me not having tried this place yet. So. Their cheesecakes did look amazing, though. They looked pretty in the case when Tanya was showing those.
So, Steve, you might have talked about this on an earlier stream, but had you tried this place when you were in Indiana?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
incredible. I think it's incredible.
Do you remember if it was priced like it is there, Steve? Or?
It's very similar. It's not that far off. That's why I know everybody's throwing a fit, but I told you it's not a sit-down, quick service, Gideon's type restaurant. It is a high-end, up there. It's really, really, really good.
Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see what the lines look like for that place, though, because we know how Gideon's lines up and has their virtual queue and whatnot.
Well, the difference though is that this place doesn't. This place has seating and serves food. Gideon's doesn't even have a table inside. It's just a little snake line, and then you're done. So I don't know. I think it holds 322 people. I believe it was. We looked the other night. I can't remember, but I think it was like 322 people. So I don't know. It'd be good.
Yeah. So today they didn't have the restaurant part open. It was just you walk in and order the cakes, the bakery section.
Yeah.
Whatever was open today. And apparently it all opens tomorrow.
Yes. Everything opens tomorrow.
It looked very pretty on the inside.
Did you see that? Did they show the Christmas decorations and all that?
I didn't really see any Christmas decorations.
So it's like they got a Christmas tree up near the bakery side. They have a bunch of in all the dining. They have like wreaths, lit up wreaths and stuff like that. It's pretty neat.
I wonder if they'll always decorate for Christmas this early, or if that's just because.
Yeah, I
it's
don't
too
know.
late. Like this is, I mean, I love decorating for Christmas, but this is really early.
Yeah.
Dennis said he watched someone with the cake slices, $15. I get they were huge, but they are not portable. So that was one thing.
Oh, you can't take them to go?
You can take them to go. So I will say I watched WDWNT's review. They've got a review up. They got it to go. And when they got back to their studio where they sat down to try it all, because of the Florida heat, the icing had kind of melted off of most of the cake, and the pie, the peanut butter pie, was kind of mushy.
Yeah.
So there you go. But they said it still tasted good. That it was still, it just didn't look as pretty as when you walk out of the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Florida heat. It's what you get, I guess.
We deal with it.
Yep. But they had when Tanya was going through, they had a all butter pound cake, and I'm not a pound cake fan, but it looked really good.
I love butter pound cake.
And they also had the butter croissants, which I always thought was funny on the menu, but it's $5.99, and apparently you get two croissants, butter, and jelly, some sort of jelly with it. And they looked good. Not bad for $5.99, I guess. But there you go.
That pound cake has a pound of butter in it.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
I mean, that's technically what a pound cake is, right? It's a pound of each
Yeah.
ingredient. That's where it
I
got
think
its
so,
name.
but that's just a lot of butter.
That's a lot of butter. The boy and girl child both love pound cake, and I'm not really a fan, personally, but that's just me. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite cake.
I'm not a big cake person.
Mom used to make a cake. Okay, since we're talking about cake, I'm going to get into this. Mom used to make a cake, and we always called it like the millionaire cake or whatever. But it was chocolate cake, and she put tons of chocolate chips in it. So it was chocolate with chocolate chips, really gooey. And then she would put a thin frosting on it in between the layers. It was almost like what's the word I'm looking for? It was a very silky frosting, very thin, silky, really good. But then she would drizzle chocolate all over the top of it, that would then harden. And it was just like chocolate on. It was just so good. It was my favorite cake because it would stay so moist because of all the chocolate chip. It was just the best cake. I've never had cake like that anywhere else.
They have a millionaire's cake here.
That's what I was seeing, and it looked pretty. Tanya showed it. It didn't see it sliced, but the exterior looked very pretty. All the cakes looked very pretty.
Mhm.
But yeah. So yeah. I guess that was the extent of my news today. I do have some cards we're gonna open after a while.
We need Jeffrey in here.
We need Jeffrey in here. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and start asking questions. Jeanette, when did you start camping at Disney World? Like, how long has this been a thing for you?
At Disney World?
Yeah.
So when my oldest child is 18, right? Same age as your daughter.
Yep.
When she was not yet 4, my husband, we were sitting in the office, and out of the blue, so I've got her at 8. I got her at not quite 4, and my next child at not quite 2, and I'm pregnant with our third child. And out of absolutely nowhere, Matt goes, "Do you know that you can camp at Disney World for about $60 a night?" And I said, "So what?" Because like, who would be insane enough to take a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and I don't remember how pregnant I was at the time he
Yeah.
made that statement, like camping and to Disney World. So that was the first time that it crossed my mind. Now the truth is we did go to Disney World and we did not camp that first time.
Okay.
We rented a house offsite. So I think the first time we went camping would have been, so it was 2009, 13 maybe. We went on like a trip that included, I think it included like a kid from our youth group as well as maybe my parents or his parents. I forget which set of grandparents came with us that trip. And we wanted a couple days just as a family before all the craziness of having extended family came into the house. So we did a couple days as a family at the fort before we moved off-site. And then the other time we camped as a family there was when Galaxy's Edge opened, and they did that like the parks opened at 6 a.m. if you were on site, because they were so worried about the crowds that didn't really ever happen at Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
So we stayed there as well. So that's how we kind of started staying at the fort.
So welcome in, Dean the Turkey Legster, and good night, Movie Mania Nick. And Kenneth said, what we don't realize is Jeanette with 2 eyes and 2 ends and really had more kids, but the Gators got the tents a few years. That was, well, yeah. So
that's why I started bringing the youth group kids. No, I brought the youth group kids because someone had to go run around the park and get all the paper fast passes, and there was nobody better than a couple teenage boys to go do that. Yeah.
There you go. So you've done this not just by yourself, but with like the family.
So the first 2 times we went, yes, we did it with the family. The way that I did it by myself, right? So in 2018-19, Matt and I both got annual passes because we did that thing where like we did a trip at the beginning of the annual pass, and then we did a family trip at the end of the annual pass.
Yeah.
And the idea was you're going to take a couple's trip in the middle. Long story, that ended up not happening, but I did take a little solo trip in there. And then we lost our annual passes during COVID. We didn't feel comfortable going in like 2020, 2021. And then in 2022, I finally was like, forget it. They're not selling annual passes. I wanted to meet by this point. Like we were part of this community and I wanted to go meet everybody. So, hey, Angie.
Hey.
So in 2022, I went down, just stayed in a like normal hotel. And in 2023, I kind of half-jokingly said to Matt one day, I was like, you know what would be really good if I could just like, I could camp down there. I just need all my equipment down there. And I think Jeff and Angela were in the process of like moving at this point.
Yeah.
And I completely jokingly said to my husband, like, I'm just going to ask them to build me like a little room. And I'm just going to like keep my tent and, all my stuff in their little room in their new house. And that's when I remembered that I had heard of this thing called an owner's locker. So, okay, he is still awake. He said he's a camping.
He is, yeah.
So, if you want, like, the owner's locker, like, I have a slide on that one.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Angie, how are you? Welcome in.
Doing good, thanks.
Good.
Sorry I'm late.
Uh-oh. Why is it doing that?
He said just woke up.
No. Oh, screen share. Yeah, there we go.
It's just, I could not imagine doing this with kids.
So I don't know if can you see that, Chris? Yeah. All right. So you can feel free to ask me questions. I don't need to go by the slide deck, but I made it. So I'm just gonna start with like, I'm not trying to convince anyone to go camping. Everybody keeps saying like I'm not a camping evangelist. I'm just
I'm trying to convert us all.
I'm
just here
converted
to
Steve.
defend her.
Thanks, Steve. But I've been camping literally since I was born. Like, this is something I would not suggest, honestly. If you're going to Disney World and you want to go to the parks, like, don't, and you've never camped, like, don't go camping. This isn't the place to learn how to go camping. But if you want to go camping and you've never camped before, the fort is a great place to go for the first time because it's a really, really, really nice campground. And if you watch Jeff tonight, you got to see that. But so just a little background. I was a Girl Scout my entire life. I went every single summer. I went a couple weekends every year. My family went camping as vacations. I worked at Girl Scout camp for 6 years. This picture here is me and my sister at our Girl Scout camp. I've taken youth group camping, I don't know how many times. I volunteer every summer at a Christian camp. And the fort, it's cheaper. And you still get most of the on-site benefits, almost all of them. The only one I think you don't get is they don't usually offer the dining plan for people who are staying at the sites.
Oh, okay.
So this is actually me and my kids. I know it's not the best picture, but this, oops, sorry, over here. This right here is me and my kids. Well, it's just my kids. This is at the fort. I think the first time we went. I'm not sure. I think that's the first time we went. This is me and my kids camping with some of our youth group kids, and this is the camp that I volunteer at. This is my daughter who she became a counselor last year, so that's her getting her little counselor badge. I already forget what the next slide is, so we'll find out together. Oh. So I'll skip over that for a second and I'll talk about the owner's locker. So this is an owner's locker. It's not really all that, big of a deal, but it's basically a little bin. Mine is red. These were created they're called owner's lockers because most of the people who have these are not going camping. Most of the people that have these are DVC members.
Oh, okay.
They get these so that they can keep their mouse ears and water bottles and sunscreen and whatever you bring down to Disney that you only use at Disney, right? So so that's the I'll get there, Stephen. So that's that's what an owner's locker is. And so they have different plans you can see on there. So those are monthly prices, right? So I think I have the moderate plan right now. The first year I had it, there was an annual pass discount. I actually got it for free for 6 months, but basically this little tub.
It's like a Rubbermaid tote.
That's all it is, right? Where same thing you store your Christmas decorations in. It's a little, it's basically that. And I don't show it. They also give you a little divider thing, and I don't use any of that. That actually is at home.
Yeah.
So yeah, and they store it off site in a HVAC controlled place. They send you an email. They treat it like it's your child, right? They're you have to name your tote. And they'll send you a little note telling you that your tote is now, and all the storage, all of the storage sites have a name. So it'll be your camping gear tote is back in Simba, whatever.
Okay.
So it's really nice. They tell you that, I got a note from them after the hurricane telling me that all my, Murph did not get a note telling him his RV was safe, but I got a note telling me that my owner's locker was safe. So my tent is good.
See, y'all always talked about these lockers, and I always envisioned there at the front of the park, these lockers that you go and you put stuff in at the front of the park. And I thought, well, okay, that's probably what this is like then.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, so it's not. So yeah, so they'll drop this off at Bell Services at any resort. So I mean, I've gotten my owner's locker when I wasn't camping just because I have some other stuff in there.
Okay.
But thanks, Murph. Actually, Murph, then my next slide is a picture of my owner's locker stuffed. But basically they have 3 plans, right? So there's a value plan, which is, you spend $10 a month and I think you have to pay $30 if they bring it to you. And then the moderate plan is $12, $12.50 a month, and they bring it to you once for free, and then $30 any after that. And the deluxe plan is $22.50. So what is that, $250 a year? And they'll bring it to you as many times as you want it for free for $250 a year. So you have to decide on your plan, and every year when you up it, every year when you renew, you can decide which plan you went for that year. So people who do DVC, if they're coming once a year, they probably do the moderate. I don't know, you got to do the math and figure out which one's best for you. So,
how many times you're going to need it and that sort of thing, I guess.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not bad if you think about it for $250. I skipped over this slide, but everybody knows, I get these super cheap flights and I just bring down a backpack. you figure a bag usually costs you $60 to $80. So going down twice, you've saved that money that you spent on the locker,
Makes
right?
sense.
So, what did I name my owner's locker? I think it's just called like camping supplies. Like I'm not Kenneth H. Creative. Like, it's just called camping supplies. And you can get more. So like if you have a second locker, it's not like it's double. I don't know exactly how much it is, but like I know it says here that the second locker is only $15 instead of $30 when you get it. I don't know how much it costs to store it, but
We have a guest.
Yeah.
100 hot and fun. That's my number. Hit my line. 1-800 hot and fun. Hear my ringtone every time.
Hey, buddy.
She's only on slide 2.
I'm sorry.
You're good.
You're good.
Good stream tonight.
It was a good intro. I can skip over some stuff because Jeff showed it tonight. So.
This is interesting to me because I didn't know. I thought you had to be on the campground to get this, but apparently you can have these delivered to any resort then too.
No, like I said, I don't even remember where I'd heard. Probably a podcast because before I was big into Disney podcasts before I got into the YouTube community.
Huh.
So I think I had heard about this, through some podcasts, and then like I said, okay, now that Jeff's here, it's kind of funny to say that I had been joking with Matt that I was just gonna rent a little spot for my tent in Jeff's house, but that's literally where this idea. And I was like, wait, I can get an owner's locker. I heard about these and I looked them up. And like, I think Wendy just put it in the chat. Like I said, I guarantee you most people who are getting this are staying at DVC and they're keeping things like their herring and their water and their Mickey Mouse ears and, a couple lounge fly bags or whatever in their owner's locker. But the owner's locker, I bet there will be more people who take away this owner's locker idea from this stream than they will. Nobody's going to start going camping because I had this stream, but people might go get a owner's locker.
I'm going to show something real quick to that.
Go ahead.
This is no wait, that's yours still. This is mine. This is the website.
Yep.
So there's
this. You can put your toddler in it.
You can put your toddler in your owner's crate. But he's only delivered once for free. After that, you have to pay $30 to see your kid again.
It is only like 13 inches deep, though, right?
Hey, if they'll store my toddler for $220 a year, that's not a bad deal.
There's your dividers you were talking about, I guess.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't use any of this stuff. And you get one of those little,
organizing tray.
Oh. Yep.
And then they show you can put all this stuff in one.
Yep. And like I said, they are really good about communicating. So like on the day that I arrive, I always get an email saying, hey, we just picked it up. And then they'll tell you when it's been delivered to Bell Services. And then when they pick it up, they always say, it's been, like I said, they treat it like it's a stuffed animal and they tell you like where it's traveled. It's kind of like the balloons at, Animal Kingdom. It's like in daycare. And I was really impressed when the hurricane came and they sent me an email telling me that
is this a Disney thing or is this a different company that just does it?
Yeah, it's not
Disney.
Yeah, no, it's a different company, but I don't know that they do it. I mean, I know they'll take the locker to other like Orlando area hotels. Clearly, I mean, the fact that it's called Owner's Locker, clearly it started as a DVC only thing, but I think they expanded it over the year. So sorry, I know there's been a couple questions.
It says copyright Owner's Locker LLC. So
yeah.
I mean, did you talk about what you keep in yours, Jeanette?
So that's my next slide, actually.
Oh, I don't want to jump ahead.
No, you're good. So this is actually mine. So like I said, the annual pass holder one is red instead of purple. So that's the same one stuffed twice. So this is, it's hard for me to tell. This is my tent and the poles to the tent. This is an air mattress. Okay. This is a towel, and then there's my fan. There's a travel pillow stuffed in there somewhere. There's a small light. I usually keep over here. Oh, here you can see this over here. Sorry. This is a light and a fan. I keep a pair of shoes. This is actually not the last time. This was like 2 times ago, but I keep a Loungefly bag. I actually now keep a popcorn bucket in there. This is the cord. So later on, if we get there, I have a video, but there is electricity and it runs into the tent. And so that's that. Loungefly. This is like toiletries, a flashlight, and I do keep a knife. I actually keep a knife right in the corner because I don't know if you can see. Sorry, I keep pointing at the StreamYard instead of pointing over here so you guys can see it. Like right here, when you put the lid on, this is a hole. So I actually do put a padlock on it. I'm not worried. I'm honestly not worried about the owner's locker people stealing my stuff, but they give you zip ties with numbers on it that you put through. And I mean, I'm not this anal, but I'm sure there's people out there who take pictures of the zip tie number. Yes, that's exactly why I have the knife. I do not take pictures of the numbers. I could care less, but people, you know, that it's just to make sure they don't open it up. I did not sit on it to lock it this time, Murph, but I definitely, it's funny because the first 2 or 3 times I packed it, there was a couple things I didn't do so well. This is actually not how I pack it anymore, but this gives a pretty good view of what's in there. And then every time I pack it, I take a little video so I remember what's in it. But that's basically what's in it.
How come it's not purple?
So purple's for DVC and red is for annual pass holders.
Oh.
So like when I first did this a year and a half ago, the first 6 months were free. They were running the first 6 months were free for annual pass holders.
So that fan is your air conditioner.
Yes.
Wow.
That fan is my air conditioning. So, so I have some. I don't know what's next, but I wish this thing.
I'm impressed with the organization as well, Kenneth. I mean, I'm surprised when you first showed the tote. I was like, okay, how are you going to get a tent in there? Because I'm used to tents, you know, and things. But anyway.
Yeah, so it's really funny because the very first time I did it, I literally flew down for just 2 days. I rented a car because I had such lack of confidence that I was going to be able to pull this off. Yeah. So I rented a car, and the idea was I was going to pick up the empty bin and try to pack everything into this first and then set up camp. And of course I got there and was so excited to like get set up and go run off to a park that I completely forgot to check that it was going to fit in the bin. So I spent the entire 2 days super stressed out about whether at the end of that trip I was going to be able to get everything in there or not. But so I swear you guys like know what my next slide is. So to answer that question, Amy, so this is my tent.
Oh wow!
It is big. So this is considered a 6-person tent. Anyone who camps knows that has nothing to do with reality. It's about half what they say. So, and again, I have some videos later, but basically it's funny. So I don't think it's any big secret that this past time that I was there, Murph and Tammy graciously allowed me to pitch my tent on their RV site. And Murph had sent me pictures of their RV and was like, how big's your tent? And I said, it's about a queen size bed next to a twin size bed. That's about how big the inside is. I don't need a tent anywhere near this big, obviously, when I'm by well, maybe not. Maybe that's not obvious to people. I don't need a tent anywhere near this big when I'm by myself. But the reason I got this is, one, because if my kids ever came with me, there's room for them. Well, and my husband. If any of them ever came with me, there's room for them. The other reason, your legs would fit, Kenneth, especially if you were diagonal. But the other reason is I can actually stand up in this tent.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So in the middle, it's a little hard because my mattress is a queen size mattress, so the mattress is in the middle of the tent. But you know, if you're there for a day or two, not being able to stand up for a day or two is fine. But if you're there for, like, I was just there for 14 days, like that's a really long time to not be able to stand up in your tent. So,
well, now that you say that, in comparison to the picnic table and the grill back there, yeah, it looks like you could.
Yeah, it's a decent sized tent. The other thing is that, and I don't know if you can tell, but it's a special like room darkening tent. It is, if I close it all up, it is pitch black in there.
Oh, nice.
Which is nice in the summer. That it also helps with heat. So the fact that it's so pitch black, and you can see the campsites are very shaded. So this is a tent site. So there's like sand, and then this thing right here. Oops, I'm doing it again. This thing right here is okay, it's funny because in the video I say I don't know if there's water, but clearly they do have water, and then it also has electricity. And I repeat this in the video, but basically I run that extension cord from this, like, it looks like a tree. It's like a fake tree that has electricity in them. And it runs in, and there's a little slot in the tent that it slips through. So.
Dark enough in the pouring rain.
One night I was in Epcot. It was the only night I didn't zip close the tent, and I was with Walt and Melissa watching, and Simba too, Matt, watching, I think we were watching Mercy Me, and it started pouring, and I was like, ugh, I think this is the one night I didn't zip the tent. And I was just about to text Murph and say, is there any chance you're like at the campsite? And he literally texted me and said, I just went in and closed your zipped your tent closed. So thank you, Murph. It technically shouldn't get wet. So you can probably see, like, this is the rainfly, this green thing, and it hangs over really far.
Yeah.
So it probably wouldn't have gotten into this side. Not so sure about the back. But.
Robert Dixon asks, how long does it take to set up the tent?
I don't know that I've ever timed it. I mean, the first time took me a little bit longer because I had never done it. The hardest part is getting the two poles up by. Murph's gonna yell at me when I say this because he offered like 12 times to help me, but I'm stubborn. But so doing it by myself, less than a half an hour. I can do it in less than a half an hour.
Okay.
Probably takes an hour to like set up the tent, put up the air mattress, get unload everything to where I want it to be.
So it'd take Jeff probably about 3.5 hours.
Days.
I mean, if I had another person, I could probably do it in half the time, but another person who knew what they were doing, I could probably do it in about half the time. It's a pretty easy tent to set up if you know how to set up a tent. Like, there's nothing complicated about this tent at all. Okay.
Go ahead.
I skipped over something at the beginning, so let me just do that. So I just wanted to mention flights because people always are like, how the heck do you get these cheap flights? So I'm just super lucky. I live by the Philly airport. I average about $50 a flight, $100 round trip. And that's with just a backpack, right? So like I said, when I came down for 14 days, I paid more and had a suitcase. Like, that's a long time to be down with just a backpack. But if I come down for 5 days or under, I just bring a backpack with just clothes because everything else is already down there. So a Velo, which Steve always made fun of, and the first time, right before I ever flew a Velo for the first time, Steve was on the stream talking about this super cheap airline that was going to crash. I'm like, thanks, Steve. That's what I flew.
No, that's what Corey and I are taking.
Are you? I love them. So they're local to Wilmington, Delaware, which is like 20 minutes from my house. It's one of those, you literally walk in less than an hour before your flight takes off. They walk you out. You go through security in 10 minutes and they walk you out to the plane. So
Wow.
They do a lot of sales. So I love them. They're simple. And like I said, like Matt can just drop me off at the airport. It's really easy. And Frontier and Spirit both fly from Philly a ton, like 10 flights a day for Frontier and probably 3 or 4 for Spirit. So, and again, I can usually get those flights for about $50. I already talked about the owner's locker, and then, so that's where my gear is. And then how do I get there? I mean, again, this has nothing to do with camping really, but so for a short trip, I'll rent a car. I get a good deal with Hertz through work. If I'm going for longer and I don't really care about what time I get there, I just take the Not So Magical Express because it's only $16 each way. I'd rather do that than Uber because that's probably like $50 each way. But make sure if you ever go to the fort, make sure the bus driver knows you're going to the fort. Every time I've gone to the fort, they have put me on the wrong bus because they assume I'm going to Wilderness Lodge, which I could get to the fort from Wilderness Lodge, but not the point. And then they drop you off at the front desk, which is called the Outpost. I have a picture of that. And then it's a little bit weird. The fort, as Jeff showed tonight, is really big. So They will have the locker at Bell Services. The front desk will not know what the locker is. They have no idea what you're talking about. But if you go to Bell Services, they will. And then they will offer to drive you to your site.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure how I was going to do that the first time because that owner's locker weighs a ton. I mean, I think it's close to 50 pounds, right? Because the first time I came down, I put it in a suitcase and had to weigh it. You know, air mattresses and tents weigh a lot. So can't exactly, well, as Steve learned, they don't let you take anything around the internal bus system, right?
They do not.
They do not. So, yeah, I'm sure. So no, it's okay. You get some interesting smells in the tent. So, so yeah. So the first time I wasn't sure what the heck I was gonna do. I mean, I had a car the first time, so it wasn't a big deal. I got the locker and I drove it to my site. But I asked them like, what would I normally do if I was taking whatever they call Magic Express now, Mears. So they're usually super nice about it. They have these little vans. They come, they put all your stuff in the van, they drop it off at your site. And I always feel bad that the poor van is picking up this $50 thing, 50-pound thing. I always tip them and they always seem shocked. So I don't know if other people don't tip, but anyway, so this is like the lobby, if you will, of the fort. Over here is where the real lobby is. I never go in there, I just check in online. And then Bell Services is off to the side here, like right behind here. This is like the bus depot for Mears and off-site travel. There's another bus depot for internal. So if you're at the cabins and take the bus to the campground, they will drive you to a cabin. Yep, they'll drive you if you don't have a car. So that's nice.
Good night, Kenneth.
Fun fact, good night, Kenneth. Fun fact: there's a cookie in here that the Mears bus driver says is the best chocolate chip cookie anywhere. And when he dropped me off, he says he loves when people come to the fort so he can get that cookie. It's like, okay. All right. So I don't know. So these are links that I can share if you want to some videos that I put together.
Okay.
Please do.
Or, okay, if you want. All right, let's see how this works because this is my not so advertised YouTube channel. Is this coming through? No.
No.
Probably have to shut down and or close this and reshare your screen to the others.
We have to.
Yeah. Let's see.
So, question, and Jeff, maybe you'll answer this too while you're pulling that up, Jeanette. Is there just one bus stop for like the parks at the fort?
So I have a slide on that.
Okay, good.
I mean, Jeff can answer it. I didn't mean it like that, but
I'm done.
All right.
I don't know if this will share. If this doesn't share the volume part, I'll just speak over it. And I'm sorry, I did all these like whatever. I'm obviously not a YouTuber. You can tell from these videos. But.
Looks good to me.
Well, it's not really working. Is it?
Don't hear the sound though, just so you know.
Yeah.
Well, the video is not playing either. Okay,
Oh.
you can't hear the sound.
No. Oops.
All right, so this is just me. Hold on, let me mute it on my side so that I don't have to hear myself talk twice. Oh my gosh, I can't find them. All right, so that's the grill that's standard at every site. It's not, I swear. All right, well, maybe we'll skip the videos.
I was about to say I can pull it up here for you, Jeanette, too.
Yeah, Chris can play it
Okay.
if you share your channel with him. Is it just your regular channel?
Yeah, do you want me to just throw the link in the private chat to you?
Sure.
All right. some of the stuff that's in here I've already said on stream, so I made these obviously back in September.
All right. Let me go here.
Who's Luis?
Who's what?
Who's Luis?
Oh, the gator?
Oh, you'll see, Jeff.
Is that what you named the gator?
I didn't name the gator anything.
It's Lewis. That's from
Lewis from.
Oh,
Princess and the Frog.
Now I can mute this if you'd rather talk over it.
Yeah, that's fine. So you can mute it. That's fine. Yep. So this is just a campsite. You can see they all have a picnic table, and then they all have that table is Murph's and that little grill is Murph's, but there's the charcoal grill comes standard at every site. So that's just me showing the tent and saying normally there's like sand under there, but because I was sharing with an RV site, that's all cement, which made pitching a tent a little bit interesting because usually you stake your tent into the sand, but
Yeah.
It worked. And then I kind of tied that last tie back on the end of the of Murph's RV. We had a little bit of trouble with the water from Murph's RV like falling onto my tent, so his like air conditioning water was coming down on my tent a tiny bit. So now I'm explaining the electricity, right? So that's the box of electricity, and whatever other RV stuff there is, that's the hole that my extension cord goes through, and that's supposed to zip. And then you get a room tour.
Oh, nice.
So
Dark
that's me
room.
explaining how it's dark. There was a lot of sand. You can see I got a lot of sand in the tent. I had to keep asking Murph if I could borrow his dustpan to get the sand out. That was one thing I didn't have. So there's an air mattress. Again, shout out to Ryan and Lala because my air mattress had a hole in it and they let me borrow one for the week. So that was very nice of them.
Nice.
And then you can see this is my, so I'm trying to find my light. So that's my light. It's so, this is the middle of the day, right? And it's dark in there. That's the fan, that's the owner's locker. So I use the owner's locker, put all my clothes in the owner's locker, use that as like an end table. There's the padlock and a flashlight. There's the fan. The sheets and the pillow are off the bed because the humidity will make them wet. So I keep them in a separate bag. There's a knife in that little thing right by my head. There's a window.
Wow.
I'm not dumb. I mean, this time I was staying with Murph, but let's be honest, I've stayed there alone. So that's just showing like you do get air in. The rainfly hangs out pretty far, so air does come in there. And I mean, you can take the rainfly off and get lots of air. There's my light, so I hang that up. There's a little thing at the top of the tent, so I hang it up. That's my work bag, which I always threw up on the air mattress when I left, just in case water came in. But I never had any issues with water.
Wow.
So that's that. I'll skip that one. Let me show you this because everybody always wants to see this. Jeff tried to show it tonight and it didn't quite work. So let me see if I can find the next.
I've got the other two you got on there too. I can show those whenever you're ready.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I wasn't going to do all of them, but so which one do you have?
Whichever one. So I see the other two. You got walking to the comfort station and the comfort station.
Yeah, do the comfort station. No one's going to care about me walking there. So it was just trying to show, because people always ask me how long. I mean, I don't know, a minute or two. Like, it's not long to get there. Okay. We were kind of halfway through the loop. It was about a minute or two. What were you going to say, Jeff?
A minute or two when you have diarrhea is a long time.
Long time.
I will agree, but I fortunately haven't had that problem. I will admit, in the middle of the night, if you have to get up and pee in the middle of the night, 2 minutes can feel like a really long time. All right, so this is
keep a Gatorade bottle next to your bed.
Well, or a can or something. So this is the comfort station. So you're walking in the door, you can see it's really nice, right? I mean, that is really nice tile. There's a diaper changing station. I assume the men's has that as well. Obviously, I don't know. There's 3 regular showers and 1 accessible one. So that's the one that has,
Oh,
you know,
okay.
yep. So there's a bench and all that kind of stuff. Trash can for, again, don't know if the men have that, but there's a bench outside each shower, and then you know, a door that closes out, and then a shower curtain, and then shower. And I mean, like I say in the video, it's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're super clean. I mean, there was a little tiny bit of soap in the corners, but other than that, it was clean. There's a niche to put all your stuff in,
Okay.
a bench to put your stuff in. And then I comment, it would be nice to have more than 1 hook. They only have 1 hook on the door. They do have some hooks outside and a bench outside, like to put your shoes on or whatever. And then walk to the front, and there's 2 adult sinks and 1 kid's sink. And I think that's my Loungefly, and then there's, I don't know, I forget if it's 2 or 3. Yeah, there's 3 toilets, and again, another accessible one. And you can tell they're clean, right? All the lids are up, and I'm in the women's bathroom at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So clearly they cleaned them at some point during the day. So
Nice.
yeah, I always wear flip-flops too, Disneyland fan. And actually, I thought there was a pair of flip-flops in the owner's locker, but there wasn't. So that was unfortunate. Normally, I do have a pair of flip-flops. No, I've never had, is the water funky or is it good? I've never had any trouble with the shower water. And then there's a laundry area as well, which again, on my channel, I have a video of the laundry area, but you know, it's your typical laundry area, right? There's like a bunch of washers, a bunch of dryers, a bunch of plugs, places to fold things. But it's funny. So I got asked once, like, if there's one thing that you would change about the fort, what is it? And I said, I really wish they had bottle fillers there.
Yeah.
But what I didn't realize is that in the laundry area there is yeah. So here's the laundry area. All right, so this is kind of in between the men's and women's bathrooms, but there are water fountains in there. So, I mean, I wish they were bottle fillers, but at least there is water. The other thing, Murph will know because we complain about this, they do make you pay for ice at the fort. Right, so any other resort, you can just go get ice, but they make you pay for ice at the fort. I'm assuming that's because they don't want people filling their coolers with it. I think it's dumb. I think they should let you like get a couple free ones with your Magic Band or something because, you know, it would be nice to have ice. I don't usually put ice in my drink, so I don't really personally care. But yeah, it's about $3, I think, to do washer dryer. I showed it earlier. They have vending machines. Although I will tell you, I could not get the vending machine to give me laundry detergent. Just kept denying my credit cards for some reason, and I tried multiple ones of them. The rest of Disney took my credit cards just fine. So, I don't know. But no, that's the other thing. 100 Acre Woods, they don't give you products. So
I was about to mention that to Steve. There's no H2O in those showers.
There's no anything. So I'm assuming the cabins have that, but you don't get. That's one of the things you definitely don't get with camping. So
gonna have to bring your own, princess.
Yeah, that stuff's already in my owner's locker. So it's funny that the one time I got the owner's locker when I was staying in a hotel room, I forget why, but I was like, I think it was still in my free period. And I think I was just like putting new things in it, so I just got it for the week. And the first thing I did was open up all my like old shower bottles and filled them with the products that were there. Like, well, I might as well take advantage of being in the hotel room and fill them up, right? So
this may be a weird question, but I'm used to camping at like campgrounds where you work during the summer and all. How bad are insects down there?
That's a good question. The only time that I got any bug bites at any time that I remember ever being at the fort is this last time, the day I set up my tent. I got two mosquito bites that day. I don't remember ever having them any other time.
Disney has some kind of weird bubble that keeps bugs out. I don't know what it is. It's like some kind of, there's been rumors about a big, like a fence, like a bug fence that keeps bugs out because they're almost, except for the ones that stick their butts together. I can't remember what they're called, but
love bugs.
Love bugs. They outside of them, there are no bugs out there. Everybody knew what I was talking about.
Yep.
All right. So I think, Chris, you had asked about getting around.
Yeah.
So here we go. So when you get dropped off at the fort, or when you come in from like most places, you'll come to the, so like I think, did you start at the entrance tonight, Jeff? At like the outpost?
I
don't
did.
remember. I don't know where you started.
I did.
Okay. Yeah, so most people who will, if you're driving in, I guess it's the best way to say it. If you're driving in, you'll start at the outpost, which is, sorry, my mouse. Okay, which is down here at the bottom, right? So what's down there is your guest services, your golf cart rentals, pony rides, and buses to Animal, Epcot, and Hollywood. So those 3 parks have buses down at that end. And then all the way up at the top is what's called the settlement. And this water up here, that's like you can see the castle. I don't know that you can see the castle from here, but trust me, what's that called? Bay Lake. Like that's Bay Lake. So up here, you can catch a bus or a boat to Magic Kingdom. I suggest the boat. It's a beautiful boat ride. It goes over the water bridge that's by the Contemporary. There's also a bus over to Wilderness Lodge, and I forgot to put it on here, but in the afternoons there's also a boat over to Wilderness Lodge. So as most of you know, I like worked while I was there this past time. So what I did every morning is hopped on the internal bus, which I'll get to in a second, but the internal bus from our campsite, which was down here, up to the settlement. Actually, it was right by the meadow, up to the settlement, and then took the bus over to Wilderness Lodge, and that's where I worked every day. Also up at the settlement, again, I know Jeff showed this, but in case somebody wasn't there, there's also the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. That's where the Circle D Ranch is. That's where the Trading Post store is, Crockett's Tavern, Trails End, the arcade, and boat rentals. Another one of the negative things, I guess, about the fort is that the only place to like refill your refill mugs is way up at the settlement. So it is kind of a pain if you want to go get your coffee in the morning. You know, if you don't have a coffee pot, you got to go all the way up to the settlement to get it. And also, Trails End doesn't open until 7:30, which is ridiculous when Magic Kingdom opens at 8. So that was annoying to me because I would take my cup with me to stop off and get something on the way up there. And I was like, well, it's not even open, so that's kind of dumb. Yeah. And then the Meadow, which again, Jeff was at today, which was good because I don't have any pictures of it. But there's bike rentals. I forget what else was there, like kayaks and canoes and that kind of stuff. And then there's the swimming pool. There's tennis, there's an arcade, there's a snack bar, and that's where the Chippendale sing-along is as well.
And fishing.
And fishing, yeah.
Where do you get the bus to Magic Kingdom?
Up here at the settlement. So there's a bus. It's not well advertised that there's a bus up there, but you can take a bus to Magic Kingdom, and it goes backwards.
Is it by the Tri-Circle D Ranch?
Yeah, like when you're standing at the ranch, if you kind of look, well, if you walk between Hoop-Dee and the ranch, you'll pass the bus depot.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And then there's 3 buses that are internal. It's a little messed up right now because there's construction because of the building of the cabins. But in the pre-new cabin world, there's 3 bus lines, purple, orange, and yellow. They literally just run between the outpost and the settlement and back again. The purple one, it's like POY across. So the purple one runs around the outside, the orange one runs up the middle, and the yellow one runs this way. So like, I don't know, I know this map is little, but like each of these is a camping loop that either has, there's like, I think Murph can probably explain this better than I can, but I think there's 4 different levels of camping sites. Like there's the pure tent sites, and then there's, and I'm gonna get yelled at this. I don't RV, so I don't know what this means. But there's little RV sites, there's big RV sites, and then there's like the premium sites that are up close, right? So you'll know what loop you're in, and you can like look on these little bus things and figure out which color to go to get up. But if you're like down here and you want to get all the way up here, you can take any bus you want to. So I find when I'm here waiting to go to a park, there's constantly people coming in who are trying to get to Hoop-Dee-Doo and have no idea how to get there. So I found myself directing people up to Hoop-Dee a lot.
Do those internal buses run pretty regularly? Like, I mean, every little bit?
They say every 20 minutes, but basically there's two, as far as I can tell, there's two on each loop and they just run. So it just depends. Sometimes they get out of sync and they're both kind of like going together. But generally speaking, they're 50% of the way away from each other, and they just constantly run. They start pretty early because, you know, if you're staying in a RV Premium Meadows, okay. If you're staying, you know, in the middle of the campground and you want to get to a park, you got to take the internal bus down to here and then take this bus there. So, you know, you definitely run the issue of, if I just missed the bus, I'm waiting for it up here, and then I can come down here and just miss the bus again. Right? So it can take, I mean, sometimes you get lucky and you catch this bus and you go down here and the bus is coming. The other problem is that the Epcot bus will go from here all the way to Wilderness Lodge, and then from Wilderness Lodge to Epcot. So that takes forever. The other ones go direct.
So it's like the All-Stars. When you're at All-Stars, you're hitting the other All-Stars before you go.
Yeah, but I think personally, I mean, the All-Stars are easier because I honestly, when I've stayed at the All-Stars, I've never had to share buses unless it was like the middle of the day. At Rope Drop and Park Close, I've always had my own. But yeah, it's a little that part, and like I said, most people will rent a golf cart, right? For me, that sort of defeats the whole point of saving money, because golf carts are, I don't know, Marv, what are they, 60, 70, 80 bucks? I mean, a day? Like they're almost as much as the tent campsite.
Jeff said tonight, I think you said they're $70 a day.
$72, $70 a day for the golf cart.
Yeah, and I mean, the first year that I stayed here, that's how much I paid for my site, because there was an AP. The sites run, I don't know. For a tent site, usually they're just under 100 for a tent site, maybe a little bit over 100 if you have no discounts. I don't know what the like premium sites are, but you know, if you're only paying $70 a night to camp, to then spend $70 on a golf cart just is illogical to me. So I just wake up 15 minutes early and just deal. And I am blessed that people on the screen have, you know, taken me home from parks at night and dropped me off at my campsite. You know, Pete will tell you I got him lost, but really what happened is we came up here and we missed the campsite because it's pitch dark and there's no stop sign at it. So we blew past the loop. And then I just couldn't figure out where to get him to turn around, right? And so we went through a loop, and unfortunately, I told them to turn right out of the loop to go back, but they turned left again. So we went around the loop, and they turned left again. So we ended up here, and then we came back down here, and this is where anybody who was watching Pete's stream, this is where he dropped me off and thought that he was like dropping me off in the middle of nowhere. But all I had to do was walk across here, and my site was right there. It wasn't a big deal. But yeah, people do get lost in the loops. I mean, I get it. You're coming up, and there's a loop, and you know it tells you it's one direction, and you have to make this little turn to come out, and people don't. But,
good night, Disney Pooh Head.
Right.
Yep. So that's how you get around. It does take some extra time if you don't have a golf cart. But like I said, between it was funny because I would like say hi in streams, like your stream at night.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I knew, I was getting a text from Murph asking me what time he should pick me up at the bus stop on the golf cart. So I definitely got spoiled on this last trip. So this is just some things at the fort. Again, Hoop-Dee-Doo, the Chippendale campfire, and then this is the swimming hole. And just in case anyone doesn't know, this barrel right here, any of you know where that's from?
Splash Mountain.
No.
I can't even see it. It's still so tiny on this thing.
It's from River Country. So.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, the at the water park?
Yep. That like barrel that's there. That was in River Country. Yep. Jennifer got it. Yep. So those are all stock pictures. Some of these are mine. So that's the Circle D Ranch. These canoes aren't there anymore. but they used to have these cool canoes that had like characters on them, playgrounds, archery. Again, I know Jeff showed some of this stuff tonight. So there's lots to do. Like I said, I wouldn't camp if you've never camped before, if you're going to the parks. But if you want to go like spend some camping time with your family and you've never camped before, it's a really good place to do it. They have a lot to do there. So then I get all the what if questions. So what if it rains? Nothing. I mean, if it's just plain raining, like absolutely, I just do nothing. It's fine. I've never had any water. This is a good tent. I don't have any water that's leaked in the tent. The only water that ever leaked in the tent is that when you open the door, the rain that's on the outside sometimes comes in the door, right? Like, that's the only water I've ever gotten in the tent. If it were to, like, if there's a hurricane coming, it's the first place they evacuate, right? So when the hurricane you guys just had, the fort, they announced the fort was closed, and they basically give you a phone number to call, and usually they just put you up for free in a hotel. That's normally what they do. They'll clear the RVs and have them park in like the Magic Kingdom parking lot if they have to. It does flood the fort. There's not good drainage there, so it does flood in hurricanes. And it was the last one.
Sorry.
Good night. No, you're good. It's your stream. You can tell me to be quiet. So, if it came from nowhere, so if I was physically there and all of a sudden like a hurricane or whatever, a really bad storm, I would go to the comfort station. It's the safest place around. As a matter of fact, when I was a kid, we were camping as a family. I was probably 6 or 7, and a storm came up while we were swimming, and I went up to go my parents were like, "Get out of the water! It's a storm's coming." So I was up at their comfort station getting, showered and changed after swimming, and I saw the storm, so I just stayed there, and a tree fell on our campsite and hit my aunt on the head, and we had to call emergency personnel, and everybody's freaking out because they couldn't find Jeanette anywhere. And Jeanette's up in the concrete, comfort station, the safest person there. So, so that's that. What if it's hot? So everybody's always like, "Aren't you hot?" Oh, you saw my little fan. The comfort stations are cinder block buildings. So that's the tent with the rain fly off. I don't tend to do it because it rains a lot in Florida, but you can take it off if I knew it wasn't going to rain. That other tent is not mine. That is just a picture that I took when I was there. So you can see, maybe, I know it's little, but that is somebody who has rigged up an air conditioner into their tent.
Yes.
Wow.
Right.
That'd be me.
If I were driving down there, or if I guess you could get a second owner's locker and stick an air conditioner in it, right? But normally, honestly, I don't know, if I lay still for 10, 15 minutes and the fan on me, I'm usually, or take a cold-ish shower before I go to bed, I'm normally fine. So I admit I'm not that affected by the heat. I understand that is difficult for people, but it doesn't. There was 1 or 2 nights that I was slightly uncomfortable, but usually if I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm usually just a tiny bit cold. And I think it's just because the humidity makes you wet, and then the fan is blowing on you, so it makes me a little bit cold. But it is hot, I'm not gonna lie. Setting up the tent and taking it down is the worst. The first time I ever did it, I thought I was gonna pass out when I set up the tent because I did it. But now that I know what I'm doing, it's okay. This is just a joke. Somebody said, "What do you do if your tent rips?" No, this is from Kenneth's promo. So this is another one. Anyone know where that tent is from?
Oh,
that's actually in the queue of Everest.
That's funny.
I've never had my tent ripped, but I have had to order things from Amazon. So for example, my computer cord broke this time, and I had to quickly order one from Amazon. So you can do that just like you do any other.
Where do they deliver it?
That's
just to the front desk. To the front desk, up at the very, very front. There's a normal looking lobby in there. I mean, yeah. So, and then what about if an animal gets in my tent? So again, I know this is really hard to see, but the only animal I've ever had in my tent is a lizard. So just like you, Chris.
Hey, I've had that problem.
One time I went to pack up the tent and like it was all folded down and this little thing was like scurrying underneath it. And I was like, oh, there's a lizard like in the tent. So I don't mind lizards. I'm not afraid of them at all. I just don't know how to I don't know how to get them out.
Yeah, that was my tonight. I was like, okay, I'm not afraid of you, but could you quit jumping everywhere so I could just like transport you safely?
Yeah, that's a good point, Murph. There is a $6 delivery fee. So
oh really?
Okay. I had to fight them to let me pay for it because it was the reservation was under Murph. So just in case anybody saw this picture, sorry Jeff, I know I'm going to give you trauma, but so this is how close we were to the canal. This is a real picture of the canal behind the tent. We were very, very close. This gator was not actually at our campsite. That is a work of art from Murph.
You don't know that.
I do because I was sitting with Murph when we made it and then texted it to you. I may have taken a couple years off of Jeff's life by texting him that picture, telling him I would be late to Epcot because I was distracted. What did you say? Yes, and here is Lewis at our campsite.
Oh, that's good.
I'll be honest with you. I don't know anything about gators. I have never camped that close to water, and I'm not going to pretend that I didn't at least kind of be like, huh, that's really close to the water, because the tent sites are not that close to the water, right? So,
yours was.
Mine was, but that's not a tent. Like that was an RV site, right? Like the 2 tent loops are nowhere near that close to water.
But your tent was close to the water.
It was. That's what I'm saying. I had never experienced that before. So I may have pretended I didn't really care, but there was this tiny little piece of me that was ever so slightly concerned. There was only one
I knew it.
There was only one night that I did wake up in the middle of the night and I did hear something outside the tent, actually kind of right where this saxophone playing gator is. And
she had a knife.
I do have a knife, but I mean it's a pocket knife. It's this big, like it's not going to really.
I just poke his eyes out.
Yeah. I missed the first question you put up. I saw Kate's question. Yeah, it is a little bit of an issue, to be honest with you, Kate. So like if I'm camping at home, I bring that tent home, you set it up in the backyard and you let it dry out. I tend to bring something with me that I can wipe the tent down. I also keep an air freshener in the owner's locker, which just helps. I mean, I've only had it for a year. There's no mold in there yet. I don't know if that will eventually become a problem. I guess I could bring it home once like a year or something. I don't know. But so far I've been able to just kind of wipe it down and get as much water out as possible. The good thing is it's in an air conditioned storage, so it's not like it's sitting out in the Florida sun. So far it's been okay, but
like this last time it was still pretty warm there, so I guess when you pack it up during the day it's going to be pretty dry.
Yeah, the tent itself was absolutely fine. It's the bottom, right? Because as I sort of showed earlier, like either because of rain or, I mean, I was joking, but it really was true that the RV had like, I don't know what they're called, like downspouts, right? Basically that took water off the top. And also I'm assuming there was like air conditioning condensation, and it wasn't falling on my tent. You can almost see it in this picture, actually. If I can find my mouse right here. That's not just a shadow. Like the reason this like little bamboo stick thing here was to block, there was like water that would fall off their RV like right here. And it, again, never got in my tent, didn't in any way disturb my tent. It was perfectly fine. The only reason I put that there like the last couple of days was because I started to worry that it was going to be wet on the bottom. So
Jennifer Crusoe asked an interesting question. If you're licensed to carry a pew-pew in Florida, would they permit your pew-pew in the campground? And I'm thinking no.
Don't know the answer to that, but I I mean, I'm guessing the answer is no, but I'm also guessing they wouldn't find it. Like, unlike, I know that in Disney hotels they go into your room, but I don't think they're coming
not
into my
permitted on
tent.
Disney property, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah. So, yep, Nicole, it is. It's an air conditioned, because people store, like, again, this is mostly DVC people, right? They store food and water, and I have it's like aerosol bottle of suntan lotion or suntan spray, whatever, sunscreen. Yeah. So, and honestly, I didn't bring I joked that I was going to use the knife to get the gator. I mean, the knife is a small pocket knife. I bring it, one, to be able to open up those zip ties, and yes, when I'm there by myself, I just feel a little tiny bit better having a knife by my head.
Wendy says she's thinking if she sees a poisonous snake, she wants a pew-pew. No pew-pews permitted.
Yeah.
100 Acre Wood wants liquor in their owner's locker, apparently. The article said throw marshmallows at the gator, said Murph.
What?
Interesting. All right, Jeff, you got any questions?
Sorry.
So many.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing now so that we can.
Okay.
What you got, Jeffrey?
Why?
She just showed you why.
That was like her first slide.
What?
That was like her first slide. It was mine.
'Cause it's cheaper, and it's fun, apparently.
Camping is fun.
Actually, I kind of forgot to say this, and I know this is like probably a weird thing to say, but like I said, I think you missed this slide, Jeff, but I've been camping since I was born, worked at camp, went to camp every summer of my life, took youth kids to camp, still work at a camp, my kids work at a camp. I just love it. Like, it's not, I don't do it. I mean, yes, the money certainly plays into it and it makes it cheaper, but like I love being outside. I actually find it relaxing. Even the heat that people complain about, like, to me, it's much worse going out into the heat and into the air and out to the heat and into the air. If you just stay in the heat, you get used to it and it's easier to deal with. So like when I worked at Girl Scout camp, we had no air conditioning anywhere. Nicole just said I was birthed in the tent. Not quite. But I mean, honestly, Victoria was camping with me at 6 weeks old. So at 6 weeks old, I took our youth group camping. I had a chair and a pack and play in my tent, and the youth kids at the next, 2 tents over. I actually find it like relaxing, and I don't know. I guess I'm one with nature, but I don't want to do it every single time. But yeah.
But to come to Disney to tent or not to come to Disney, the answer's pretty clear.
Yeah. Thanks, Murph. I appreciate that. It really wasn't a big deal. Like, honestly, if I could have just thought of something to like direct the water off the pad instead of under the tent. It was only like, because thankfully it stopped raining at the end of the trips. Like, it rained a lot at the beginning of the trip, and like I said, there was never any water in the tent. That never ever happened. I was just worried about packing it up, but it wasn't really that bad. I would have come to you, Murph, if it was like actually getting in my tent, but it wasn't at all.
I would like to try this, but I would like to try this more like in November, December.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. The other thing is that I've come down in the winter and I haven't camped. And that's partially because I don't have a heater, right? So the people that you met tonight, Jeff, you asked them about that, and they said we have a heater, but like I don't know how I would heat the tent. I'm not, unlike Steve. I always joke the Boy Scouts get this. They get like beads for camping at different degrees, and they're like blue beads for like the colder the weather is, I think. And
I can do it in the middle of the winter.
And I'm like, the Boy Scouts can keep their they're cold weather blue beads. I don't want to like camp in cold. I don't like being cold, but
Rather be cold.
yeah. See, I don't know. I always say like heat is uncomfortable, but cold is just painful to me. So
Yeah, I think people can deal with the cold better than that. Like you can just put a pair of sweatpants on, pair of sweatshirt on, get some blanket,
Sleeping bag.
sleeping bag. Yeah.
For those of you that are down here, we're going to be at a near record high tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
But like, I think of like Jeanette, Tina, Joy, Angie, like as much older sisters. I would hate to have like something happen to them when they're down here on like get attacked. Like you were really close to the water.
I agree.
All the sites are really close to the water, though.
Well, they're not. I mean, that loop happened to be on the canal, right? They're not all on the canal.
No.
Yeah.
It's just something that, like, to worry about. Like, I would text Jeanette did you make it through the night? Did you make it through the night?
One day you should just not have written back to him.
Well, it's funny, not this year, but the year before, there was one time where I didn't realize that Jeff was as worried as he was until he was on Chris's stream that night when I was back in my tent. And I remember, like, I think you texted me or IM'd me or whatever that next morning, and there was this little teeny, like, for 1 second, I was like, I should just not respond. And I was like, no, that's just me. I'm not going to do that to him. So, I didn't do it. It just went through my head. I was tempted. I did not give in.
Murph says there are only really 2 loops on that canal.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, again, it's not something that I honestly didn't think of it until you guys all came over for s'mores and one of you asked the question, like, aren't there gators in that water? And I was like, huh, it is Florida and there is water. Like, it was probably you, but I don't remember because there was a lot of people there.
I know I asked.
Yeah. So
this may be a dumb question, Jeanette, but I saw somebody ask something similar to it. I assume there's not Wi-Fi throughout the campground.
No, there is. Absolutely.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. As a matter of fact, I didn't really do it on this trip, but I have just worked at the picnic table. If I had like too many teleconferences and things that I felt like I needed to. Plus, it was really hot, right? My computer is 9 years old and probably would have exploded if I would have left it off on a metal picnic table. But no, there's Wi-Fi. And I don't know. I mean, Murph ran a whole TV, so I don't know exactly how he did that. But like, it's all there. It's fine. It works just like any other Disney Wi-Fi.
And I don't know how easy this is to answer, but how nearby are these camping spots? So are you like right next to another tent, or is there a little bit of space, like a car length between each one? Or
I mean, you're pretty close, but they do a pretty decent job of, like, there's a lot of trees.
Okay.
So I think that, like, part of the reason that I got that, like, room darkening technology on the tent is because of that. Like, the light can be, but if you're in like I said, this was an RV loop I was staying in. So there's light pollution, but you're in an RV, so who cares, right? They just go in their bedroom and close the things, whatever. Somebody asked on Jeff's stream tonight, like, do you have to turn the inflatables off by a certain time? Like, you don't. I'll be honest, it was a lot quieter in that RV loop than it is in a tent loop, because I've been in a tent loop where the campsite across from you was like people, even people who are just pitching tents will bring, what are those things called? Like the awning tents. I can't think what those things are called. Like the pop-up tents that people bring to soccer games. That.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, I can't think what they're called.
Tailgating tents.
Yeah, tailgating tents, and they'll put their picnic table under that, and they'll put up. I mean, I've seen huge TVs just outside at a tent site. They were watching football games like past midnight. So like there were a couple of times that I struggled to sleep. Not this time at all, because I was in an RV loop and I was the only person probably. I don't think I was the only person in a tent, but I mean, Murph said that when his kids were younger, they used to pitch a tent on the RV sites and his kids would sleep out in the tent. So the noise can be a problem. And also, if you're all the way up towards the Magic Kingdom side of the loop, 6 feet, okay. You can hear like the boats and that kind of stuff, and that can be quite loud. You'll always hear the electric water pageant. You can hear it more than once. You can definitely hear it when it goes past the fort, but you can also hear it. I guess it's Wilderness Lodge. You can hear it. You can see the fireworks from most campsites. You can hear those as well. So again, for me, no big deal. I'm not going to bed till 11 o'clock or whatever anyway. But if you've got kids, it can be kind of loud. Yeah, that's exactly what I do, Wendy. I don't wear an eye mask, but I put earbuds in.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Don't you worry about somebody stealing your laptop?
Yeah. So I get asked that question all the time too. So I've only actually worked down there twice. So the first time I had a car, I just left it in the car, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember because it was hot. But normally when I'm not there, I put it in the owner's locker. I padlock the locker. And if you really think about it, like somebody would have to get into the fort, come, open up a tent, open up the owner's locker. Like it's not, it would be a lot. Yeah. There's hundreds of campsites there, right? You'd have to I don't know. I'm not that worried about it, but yeah, I don't know. That's what I do. And if I'm honest, I don't know that I close the padlock every day, but but in theory, I put it in the owner's locker and close the padlock.
So at the camping sites versus the RV one that you were at with like Murph, do each of those still have like the grill and like a fire pit at those?
Yeah, they all have a grill and a grill and they don't have a fire pit. They have a grill and a picnic table. And then Murph would have to tell you what the RV sites have, but like the RV sites have a place for the sewer and whatever hookups you need for an RV, right? Like, again, I don't know all that stuff. But the tent sites, I think, just have, and it's also different power, right? So they have again, I don't speak electricity, but they have those power cords that look like they're for your dryers and washing machines and much different power options on the RV sites. But I know that there's, at least because I saw it in one of my tent pictures, there's there's a hose at least and an electric panel with plenty of outlets. So
the owner's locker was in your tent?
Yeah. So basically, yeah. So I use that. So once I get the owner's locker, I use that kind of as an end table, right? So I have an air mattress. It's like a double high air mattress. And then I take the owner's locker and I put it next to my tent and put that's what I put the fan on that's blowing on me and a flashlight and that kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks.
What would you have done? So your air mattress broke. What would you have done if Ryan and Lala wouldn't have had an air mattress for you? What would you have slept on?
Well, I was fortunate this time because honestly, it didn't break. There is a pinhole leak in it somewhere, right? So I actually, when I bought the computer cord, I also ordered a patch kit because I didn't have a patch kit. And I was like, that's dumb, I should have one. I couldn't find the hole though. I bet if I would have taken the air mattress, if I would have taken the time to take the air mattress out of the tent and looked for it, I probably could have found it. I probably would have, Jennifer said I would have Ubered to Walmart. I would have asked one of you guys to take me to Walmart, or I would have just ordered it from Amazon. Right?
Murph said she would have slept in the camper,
Oh yeah, okay. This time I could have slept in the camper. And don't get me wrong, it does help. I'm not gonna lie, it helps that I know people down there, and if something were to happen, one of you probably would take me in. I'm well aware of that fact, that makes the risk thing a little bit lower. But the first time I did this, I didn't know any of you well enough to be hey, there's a hurricane. Can I come crash at your house? Right?
Yes, you do.
What did you say?
We would have let you crash here.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That does take the risk factor down for me personally. But I would do this even if I didn't know you guys. I guess I would have, for one night, I would have just made it work and slept on the ground. I wouldn't have done that for 14 days. I would have gotten a new air mattress. But to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm going to do because now I've got an air mattress down there that has a pinhole in it. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to.
She has other people she knows that live down here that could help too.
Right.
Well, I know
Yeah.
we have an air mattress too, but we could also drive you to someplace to get another one. But I'm just
Exactly.
saying,
Well, I mean, to be honest, what I'll probably do is the next time I camp, like I have more air mattresses. I'll probably I have a list of like simple twin air mattress. I'll probably bring that with me, and then because what I don't know, and see if I can find the hole. Right.
Dude, your air mattress, is it self-inflating?
No, I have a pump. I forgot to say that, but no, I have a pump
Oh.
down there.
You know how
It's
to
funny
find
'cause
it?
what I always thought was going to happen is my pump was going to break, right? Like that's what I expected to happen. But this was such a pinhole that I could sleep on the air mattress all night long, and I still was, 6 inches off the ground. I just wasn't 18 inches off the ground.
Just
So
take some soap and water and put it in a spray bottle and spray the sides.
yeah, that's what I need to do. I just didn't have, I just didn't take the time to do it, and I should have, because I was there for 14 whole days. I surely could have like skipped the park for a couple of hours and done it, but I just didn't. So honestly, what happened is I let it deflate and I put Ryan and Lala's over it. So then I was like, well, now I've got to go like, I don't know. I made it more complicated than it. It's a very, very, very slow lake.
I buy storage sheds, and it's like a rule that when you buy a storage shed, you have to get an air mattress out of it. So I probably have a bunch of them laying around. So
Yeah, well, if you find any pumps, I'll.
I do have pumps.
Honestly, that's what I thought would happen, right? Like you get down there and pump doesn't work. But now the one that it's funny because the one that Ryan and Lala lent me was identical to mine, except theirs had the like built-in pump thing.
Yeah.
Ours,
And
we
the
have
only
a,
reason I didn't get that one is because it's harder to fit in the owner's
Yeah.
locker, right? Because they have like a big pump in there.
They have the-
my
the-
pump is like this big. Yeah.
we have one of the self-inflating ones, and it has like the built-in fan, and you turn it on and
Yeah.
off, and it does
Those are
it.
the best.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it wouldn't have been comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. Like, obviously, if the whole thing had like popped, I mean, I would have just folded it up and slept on top of it for a night, but
Mhm.
or come
I-
into the camper, Murph, or come into the camper.
I used to sleep on one of those. We would rent a house at Myrtle Beach, and it was always for some reason we always ended up with one short bed, and I always ended up on the inflatable mattress.
I mean, when I was in my 20s, I would have just slept in a sleeping bag on the ground, but
Yeah.
like, I'm too old for that now. I like the double high because this really shows you how like old I am. I can sit on it and stand up and not have to like, climb around on the ground and try to figure out how to stand up.
Yeah.
Jeff, I guess you could blow it up by mouth if you had to.
Yeah.
No thanks.
I don't know.
Didn't
I
convince
appreciate you
Like
coming
I said,
in.
I'm not trying to convince anybody.
Well, like I get up like 3 or 4 times during the night to go pee. I don't know if I can.
Gatorade bottle.
But you're also a
I
dude.
know how Jeff feels about the bottle in the tank.
Hey,
Like it's
they
such a
make-
normal thing.
They make funnels. Don't even start. We looked at it the other day.
I know.
It's a normal thing.
You could get a couple of those hospital urinals, Jeff, and just the little
Yeah.
bucket
Bedpan, yeah.
handles. Of course, you
I
look
mean-
funny walk into the morning station every morning with jugs full of pee, but I'm just saying. It's awesome.
Well, that was an interesting part about being on an RV site because most people aren't using the comfort stations because they're at, they're in the RV. So like I would go into the comfort station to take a shower and there's like nobody in there the whole time, which is
Yeah.
very different than when you're staying in a tent loop because now there's more of them in the tent loops. There's usually a couple of them. Where the RV sites, like they'll have one or two comfort stations per every 2 loops because people don't use them as much.
Yeah.
Jeff, you know what causes you to have to pee a lot, right? In the middle of the night?
Drinking a lot of water during the day.
It's your prostate.
I've been massaging my prostate every night.
Is it swollen though? That's what causes it. When it swells, it pushes on the bladder and all that other stuff. You need a smaller prostate, Jeff.
So what
That's
is it?
why the doctor said no touchy for 14 days.
That's why you're not allowed to ride a bike.
Yeah,
Bill.
I mean, honestly, Bill, I mean, I wouldn't pee in the woods at the fort.
No,
But-
I am not going to jail for
If
public
I'm at a
shenanigans.
state camp, I mean, yeah. But no, I wouldn't do it at Disney.
Rob Law
And I
asked, "Do you sing when no one is in the showers?"
Wait, what?
I
Oh,
remember.
do I sing?
Yeah, do you sing when nobody else is in the shower? I remember camping on youth field trips with church, and you would start walking towards the comfort station, as they call them now, and you could hear somebody inside singing because they thought they were alone, and you were just like,
Yeah.
They don't realize their voice carries all throughout the park.
I don't know that comfort station is used at campsites. I don't know. I've only ever heard that at the fort. But.
I'm totally the opposite. I start a round of Backstreet Boys karaoke. Everybody's welcome to sing in.
Wait, so you're
No.
saying you take group showers?
If there's somebody that happens to walk in when you're showering,
Those
you don't look at them and go, "Excuse me, I'm showering. You can come back in 20 minutes."
that comfort station was a lot nicer
Come
than
on.
what I remember back in the day, even at like Myrtle Beach and places we used to camp.
Yeah, these are particularly nice ones. I mean, I've camped at many, many, many places, and these people always picture like cement buildings with a bunch of shower heads just coming out of them. And I mean, that's what my Girl Scout camp was like. And it was just a big cement room with a bunch of shower heads coming out of it. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like there was no privacy at all. But this is,
If you were
These are
lucky, there might be like stalls, but you might only have like a shower curtain maybe at
Yeah.
the end of it if you're lucky.
by the time when I started camping in like first or second grade, and again, who cares in first and second grade, right? But like it was just a square building with shower heads coming out of it. By the time I was working there was cement barriers between them with a shower curtain in front of them. Yeah. So that's true, Murph. That's true. Some people do. There were people coming in to. I'm not saying I was in there alone every single time, but yeah, some of the camper showers are really tiny. So
They-
it's definitely less traffic.
Some of those
is my new band name.
some of those shower campers, you can barely turn around in the showers. In those
Yeah.
campers or so.
Yeah.
Take your knife to the shower with you, Jeanette?
I don't, but that's a good point.
It's good because I was getting ready to ask you where you put it.
On the little bench outside of the shower.
Then somebody else is
Yeah.
going to take it and get her.
No, but there was a little bench.
It's only this. It's a pocket knife. Like I could bring
Oh,
it.
it's not
in.
like a big, like,
No, I do not keep a machete in like my owner's
Not a
pocket.
psycho knife.
A psycho
I
knife
have
in my owner's.
on my head at night.
I don't know how I got it down. I didn't check a bag. I don't know. I don't remember how I got it down there.
Murph says the shower door locks. There you go.
In the comfort stations?
In his RV.
Oh.
No,
No,
they.
in-
No, I bet they do. He's right. They lock in the comfort stations. There's like there's a door
Is it
on the
piece of
outside.
tape that-
There's
is it
like a
piece
little
of tape-
changing room on the outside.
Yeah, we showed them.
Is it a
Yeah.
piece of tape that you stick to the wall when you detach the shower curtain, or what?
No, there's a regular. No, the shower curtain's there. Yeah, go ahead.
It's like a bathroom stall.
Yeah.
Jeff's
so
been
this
in the
is-
comfort stations.
Jeff doesn't have a memory.
Yeah, that's a good idea, Jennifer. I should probably get that. I mean, I'm honest.
Those
I
are-
don't
There's
know.
a door. Yeah, there's little slide locks, just like in a normal bathroom.
Yeah, so that's like that's the handicap one, right? So there's like a
So you
bench
don't
in-
have shower curtains, you have doors.
No, not in that one, but wait till I go right here. So now see there's a bench, there's a door right there. Now you go through there to a
Ah,
shower
I
curtain.
see. So
Well,
nobody's
then you
doing
can close this door. Once I'm done showing it, I turn around.
Got it.
So there's the shower.
Does the handicap shower not have a door or a curtain?
It has just a door because it's a much large, so you could get a whole, there's no shower curtain because it's just one big room with a door.
Okay.
So there's like,
Oh, I
yep,
see.
and then this door closes. I don't show that it latches, but it does.
But you could go under or over, right?
Well, okay, yes, you're right. And it's interesting because on the outside of the comfort station, there's a sign that says between midnight and 6 a.m. you have to use your magic band to get in.
Yes.
But you don't, because I'm telling you that I've been there at 3 a.m. and it wasn't
Oh,
locked.
man, those 3 a.m. showers are the best. Nobody else around.
I wasn't there to shower at 3 a.m.
It's not a what is that? A horror movie scene at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably bad. I don't think that much about it. I mean, this was the furthest away. I mean, you were there, Jeff. You know how far away I was. This is the furthest I've been away from a comfort station, but
It was right across the street.
What?
It was right across the street.
Yeah, I mean, it was about, I don't know, 5-6 campsites away, right? But like the first and second time that I camped, it wasn't next to it, but I was like one away.
Oh.
I didn't shower at 3 a.m., Jonathan. I promise I just got up to go to the bathroom. I wasn't showering at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point, right, 100 Acre Wood? Like, there are gators there. They could be anywhere.
What?
I mean, I wouldn't choose to, like, camp that close to the canal next time, but it didn't stress me out. It only stressed me out for, like, that one day.
But the campsite where you normally set up a tent, that's not on concrete though, right? Is it on concrete?
No, yeah. So I think I showed, like, earlier in probably before you got here.
Yeah, I
showed a picture of. No, you're fine. But I showed a picture of like my tent. So it's still. I don't know if you remember, but like around the whole campsite, there's kind of a border, like a raised wooden border.
Yeah.
And on our RV site, it's completely filled in with concrete. On a tent site, the little skinny part where you like park your car is concrete, but then the back square is all. It's not really sand. It's like gravel.
Oh.
I guess there's sand under the gravel. No, gravel's good because if it rains, then it falls in between the gravel and goes down into the sand that's below that.
Plus, gravel's
Yeah,
noisy when the gator gets close, so you'll hear it coming.
What did you say?
I said, plus gravel's a little noisy, so when the gator starts crawling up to you, you'll hear it coming.
Yeah, Murph's right. It was really wet the first week, and if I had... Okay, this is me walking to the comfort station, I think. So this is showing at the fort, the trash cans are animal proof.
Yep.
So you have to put your hand in to like open them up. Yeah.
There's Zach proof too.
Are they?
Yeah.
So this is me walking from our site up to the comfort station. I don't know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. I think I'm just showing the different sites, and I don't know why I'm walking sideways. And they have trash
I like
cans.
that there's
over.
all the trees because I'm sure that helps with not making it as hot too.
It really, it definitely helps a lot. And it helps with noise and light pollution too, right?
Francisco, welcome in. Howdy. People setting up for Halloween.
Yeah, I think that was those people's first day in. So.
Did you film this? Did you film this when you were just there with Murph?
Yeah.
I say those decorations look familiar.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty early in September, so I mean, it wasn't that decorated, but.
No, but I remember that clock with that spinning thing with Mickey and Minnie.
Yeah, you would have passed it coming in. Yeah.
That took about a minute to walk to.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm talking while I'm doing it, showing the trash can, that kind of thing. So, I mean, it's a minute, and I get it. I know at 2 o'clock in the morning, a minute feels like forever. I get it.
I just make a lot of noise and have a bright light, wake everybody else up. So if anybody's going to do anything, there's a lot of witnesses.
There you go.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't worry about it. I've never worried about it at a campsite, which is probably stupid, but I mean Disney's security does drive around a lot, so
Yeah.
there are security golf carts driving around all
And
the
they
time.
still have cameras in those trees.
I know they do. Of course they do.
Really?
Do they really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there's cameras.
Sure, there
around.
probably are. Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
watch
Murph.
everything.
He said his AC was running. He couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Although I can tell you, I told him one day he was laughing so hard at your stream that I could hear him in my tent from inside his RV. He's like, "There's no way you heard me." I'm like, "Oh, I heard you."
Man, that was a nice RV.
It was a very nice RV. Yeah.
Wendy says I'm good in a Coleman pop-up with a cassette toilet, king beds.
I don't know what a cassette toilet is.
A
Wendy.
cassette toilet. Does it play you
Now
music?
I feel stupid. I feel like I should.
It
know
probably
what that
does.
is.
Yeah.
They make, I'm guessing, they make these toilets that are, it's like a box, kind of like it has an actual
yeah.
tube on it that you just
Okay.
do all your stuff in and then you just take it down and empty it.
Yeah, I just didn't know that's what it's called. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if that's what it is or not. I'm just saying I know they make those.
That's exact. I just googled it. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Jeanette,
I
I
just-
appreciate this. I've learned a lot.
Thanks. Thanks for
I
having me. It
won't,
was
I
fun.
won't worry as much about you next time, I guess.
I felt so bad that the entire 2 weeks I was that's like all anybody ever talked about on your stream, because Jeff would come on and say, "Is anybody else concerned that Jeanette is in a tent?" And then you would talk about it for half an hour.
Or has anybody heard from Jeanette yet today?
We had to check in.
I told
Yes,
Jeff
you
almost
should.
every day I was down there. He knew I was alive.
Jeff,
I
you should
go
have gone
to-
over there in the middle of the night and put a row of barbed wire around our fence.
Yeah.
Well, then I couldn't get out to pee. That's not fair. Oh, you mean on the Croc side?
Yes.
Cassette toilet is my new band name.
They'd be quite a flush.
They'd be quite a fun.
No, I'm telling you, next time I'm just gonna lie to Jeff and tell him I'm staying at All Stars no matter what. I'm gonna let him stress out.
Lie to me. Please lie to me. Just
That's a great song.
Yeah.
please lie to
You
me.
want me to drive you back to your hotel? No.
O-Town and Julianne Hough, or I think it's Julianne Hough. I can't remember who the girl is, but it's O-Town, I believe, is the. It's a great song.
That's
Yep.
those
My
owners'
my
lockers.
only
That,
real concern was coming down in September and whether there was going to be a hurricane. I mean, there was a hurricane a week after I left, right? So,
Yeah.
But like I said, I know that Disney always evacuates the fort first, and they put them up in whatever. So, oh yeah, that's funny. Stacy had no idea that I was in a tent, so I think it was Pete's stream. Pete made some comment, like he knew where I was. And Pete made some comment. I don't remember exactly what it was. And Stacy, having no idea that I was in a tent, and definitely not knowing that I was so close to a canal, made a comment about getting attacked by a gator, and then felt really, really bad when she found out I was actually.
Whoops.
Jennifer Crusoe is getting her camping gear together for next time.
No
you don't need
way.
an owner's locker. You live like 2 hours. Just drive up and
She is not.
Do it, Jennifer.
Jennifer seems to have no trouble with this camping thing and used to go camping. And
Those
She
owners'
is
lockers.
way
for me.
older than me. She should not be camping.
My
Stacey,
parents-
it's fine. I was not offended by your comment at all. I thought it was funny.
My parents are in their 60s and they tent camp.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was down there, Chris, you said, what are you going to do when you get home? Are you going to like slowly transition back to a bed, which cracked me up because clearly Chris thought I was sleeping in a sleeping bag, like on the
I
ground.
did. I was like,
Which
she's
I
sleeping
said,
on the ground when she gets
in
home.
my 20s, I did that, but no. I took the youth group kids. It's funny that I was pregnant with Victoria, but nobody outside of Matt knew yet. And I took our youth group kids camping, and that tent did leak. It poured that whole weekend, and that tent leaked. And I woke up in a puddle, and I remember being like, "Ugh, I'm cold, I'm wet, I'm pregnant."
No.
And
Yeah, you
from
go
that
back.
day forward, I was like, "Yep, we're on an air mattress." Because usually when a tent leaks, it doesn't usually leak from the top. It's usually like the seams that it leaks from. So it's the bottom that tends to, like, you get water in the bottom of your tent. But if you're on an air mattress, it doesn't really,
Last time I tented somewhere, we were on a youth and college field trip with the church to Six Flags for a big music festival they had going. And I swear, I think Six Flags just had us in an empty parking lot that was graveled, and that's where we were all staying. But it rained one day, and I mean, it rained for like I think it rained for a day and a half, and there was as much water in my tent as there was outside of my tent.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
I mean,
I'm done.
I've definitely had that happen. Like that it happens as your tent gets old. Older tents, like you used to have to like, I don't know, you used to have to like do something to the seams to, I don't even remember. But this tent was all I got a good deal on this tent. I got the tent and the air mattress. Actually, I got the air mattress I use plus 2 more that we have at home from Coleman for some like everything was like a third off, and then the air mattress was like free. I got a really good deal on the whole thing. So yeah, I do have that waterproofing stuff, Disneyland fan, but this one came like pre-done.
You should get Flex Seal. You can do a screen door and make it into a boat or something.
Yeah. And the rainfly on this one sits. So the way a rainfly works is it actually sits like above the tent, and rainflies fail if you like stand up and touch, because then the water can like drip through. But if they never touch, then it just kind of comes off. And this rainfly sits really high up, so it's nice. Oh, Happy's Haunt. That does not sound fun at all.
Oh, that's not fun.
And like Steve said, I mean, you know, like I never get bitten down in Disney. It's very rare I've gotten a mosquito bite. Huh, I didn't know that, Jeff.
It's like there's no bugs around.
Yeah.
And
What's a jigger?
Yeah. What'd you say, Tina?
What's a jigger?
They go underneath
like-
your skin.
Yeah, they go under your skin.
Oh,
You have to like suffocate them with like clear nail polish or something. We used to have field parties in high school, and I got them once.
wow.
Yeah, Stephanie L. I remember putting tarps under the tent. Although I swear all that does is make the rain like pool into your tent. I don't like putting tarps under, unless the ground is wet when you get there.
Yeah.
Huh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I know what a chigger is, but I've never experienced.
That's what we call them. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, what did the other person call them? What did Nicole call
With
them?
a J.
Jay.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay, Nicole.
Yeah.
We all knew what you were saying. They're those little insects that drive you nuts.
I will say one thing. The other thing, it's funny. The first time I did this, Ryan and Lala have like camped. They've stayed in an RV anyway. I don't know how much they've tent camped, but Brian said to me the first time I camped that he found out I was camping, he was like, what do you do about like your late night snack? So I will say that I do not store food in the tent. So that is,
That's
not-
interesting.
That's
That,
not
not
as
attract
fun.
animals.
that would
What?
kill me.
Why don't you store
Because-
food then?
If you don't want to attract animals.
Exactly.
I was gonna say, don't
Just-
answer that.
Just choose something that they don't like.
Yeah. I mean, I generally don't store. I will. This time I did buy, I don't know what these are called, because I was like, I don't know, you just want that like one bite of something sweet before you go to bed. So like I bought, they were like Mickey Mouse heads that were like coconut dipped in chocolate, I think. And
Ooh, like an almond joy without the almond.
yeah, kind of, but like an open faced almond joy. Like it was only dipped on like one side of the Mickey Mouse. And they were like wrapped, they were individually wrapped and then in a cardboard box. And then I did put those in the owner's locker. But that made me nervous, even though I was like, well, they're in there. They're probably not going to. What did Murph say? Yeah.
And he always brings cracked pretzels.
Yeah.
Murph,
Of
good
course
night,
they do.
sir.
Not Murph.
Good night. Thank you, Murph. They were
What's a
great
cracked
hosts.
pretzel?
We had a ton of fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The animals it's funny, the one time I was there with my kids, I mean this was just stupid. This was just plain stupid. But we had gone to the Chippendale campfire and had bought Hershey bars. And then we also had bought like, I don't know, Munchkin donuts or something for breakfast. And I mean, I know better. You don't leave that stuff out. We had cars. But we accidentally left the Hershey bars like inside like a soft cooler out on the picnic table, and we left the donut holes out on the picnic table. And in the middle of the night, like the animals at the fort have no fear of human beings, right? They're so used, like you did it today with the deer. Like I couldn't believe how close you were to those deer tonight. And yeah, in the middle of the night, I woke up the picnic table, like, outside of the tent, but a couple feet away from my eyes, with squirrels just attacking our cooler, like ripping into the chocolate. I was like, oops.
Did they get in?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They got in and got the chocolate. I didn't care. Like whatever. We were done with it. But yeah. So.
You this talk of all of that reminds me. I bought something tonight, and I meant to bring it down here to try it on stream, and I forgot.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. And when you see this, you're really going to boo. But already at the grocery store, Little Debbie Christmas treats are in
Oh,
stock.
Nice.
Oh, the white Christmas
Love.
trees.
So they have the Christmas tree cakes that are the best thing ever. But these are new. These are Christmas mini muffins. And I've heard that these are very, very good. And I bought some, and I was going to try one on stream. Yeah, those are in grocery stores. You were talking about snacks and all, wasn't it?
Yeah.
To bring those down. See, that would hurt me, Jeanette, because usually when me and boy child and girl child would get back to the resort, we would end up going and getting like a pizza and taking it back to the room or whatever and snacking on, and then having the next morning. And
Yeah.
they wouldn't be able to do that. That would.
Yeah. I mean, you could keep like if you had a car, obviously you can keep it in the
Yeah.
car. And I'm sure people who camp. I mean, I don't think there's bears in Florida, which is usually your main.
Yeah, there are.
concern. Are there?
And
We
Sawyer.
got one-
Oh yeah, there was one in the Magic Kingdom one day when I was in Epcot. Yeah.
And there was one in our front yard last Christmas. So
Really?
yeah,
Don't
They come
call
in-
that fair.
they come in, they eat the trash.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they're usually like your main concern when you're camping, but Disney squirrel's not hot. Yeah.
Squirrels
I don't know. I guess you could get like a Rubbermaid tote or something and put it outside with food. I mean, yep. So
Like
yes,
a-
Jennifer, there are outlets. I don't think there was one at the like kids level sink, but I'm pretty sure there was at least 2 outlets up at the adult level 6.
Just get you a nice Yeti cooler and store it somewhere down here. And
Yeah. Yeah, if you had like one of those, are those the kind that plug in, Steve? Those Yeti coolers?
You can get that. You can get them too. But the one I'm just talking about, just food in general, that doesn't have to be cool. Just nobody's getting into one of those things.
Yeah. Murph had some sort of electronic cooler.
Yeah, those are awesome.
We've got one of those.
Yeah. And again, I mean, I would camp way differently if I was driving down there. I have a whole shed full of camping gear. Like, it would be totally different.
Well,
That would be a great part 2, like how to camp elevated.
Survival.
Well, then you need
survival. That's what she just did.
No, I mean
like someone to come on to do that one.
We need some reenactments from Jeff. Like if Jeff was an attacker, to as an alligator, to Jeanette, how would she handle the situation? And let's recreate it.
I don't want to get pocket knifed.
Oh man.
I'm not sure my knife would even go through like the skin of a gator, to be honest with you. Don't you just like tape its mouth shut? Isn't that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah, they have very weak muscles opening, but they have some severe
So I
muscles.
just need to bring down a roll of duct tape and.
Oh yeah, what you do is you just get somebody to jump on its back and hold its mouth together, and it can't open it. And then you take a shot.
Hire someone to stand outside my.
You just watch out. You just got to watch out for that alligator death roll.
Yeah.
Frederick Wood says, "You just Steve Irwin it."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh crikey! That's what you say. They go away.
That's it. Yep. Well, I thank you, Jeanette, for sharing.
Thanks for having me on.
Rest easier next time you're down there camping out. And
well, that makes one person on the stream who will rest easier.
let's say we'll just make sure Jeff keeps in constant contact.
Just Jeanette.
He makes it sound like he didn't text me every single morning, just a couple of them.
Yep. Yeah. I think we'll call it a night. Hope everybody has a great Friday. We'll be back here Saturday night doing something. More camping reenactments, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah. I feel like there's something else I was supposed to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. So, oh well.
I think you
You
were going
mentioned
to
your
open
cards,
up
but you should do that a different night at this point.
What, Tina?
What Jeanette said. You mentioned you had cards you were going to open.
Oh, yeah. We'll save those for next time.
Saturday, because I'll have cards to open on too.
Oh, here we go. I'll show you what they are, though. I bought hockey cards. Hockey
Yes.
cards.
You see Angie roll her eyes like they have too much clothes on.
You can't see anything in that.
So,
Just
there you
this
go.
is this.
Yep,
Jeff has a Lego he's working on.
he does. He's coming along with the Lego. We'll work on that too. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a great night. Have a good Friday. And we'll see you in the streams and chats and whatnot and here and there and back here Saturday night after Jeff's Saturday morning and everybody else live whenever they're live. Love you all. Have a good night. Take care. We'll see you soon. Bye. Toodles.